So today in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips that if you follow it correctly, I can guarantee you that you will be able to transition properly, smoothly and clearly. So that last stroke, which is an upstroke, is usually called an empty chord. You're telling your left hand, you know what, I'm not going to stop even if you make a mistake. You're forcing your left hand to come on time. Hey, what's up guys, my name is Sherin Winstent, your guitar instructor at Music Pandit, the best place to learn music online. So over the years, I get a lot of questions by everybody who's trying to learn this amazing instrument that how to shift chords smoothly and clearly. So most of the time when you're trying to learn chords, if you're going from one place to the other place, you might sound a little bit broken. The transition won't be that smooth. You might take a little of time to place your chords correctly. So today in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips that if you follow it correctly, I can guarantee you that you will be able to transition properly, smoothly and clearly. So before we get on to the main topic, let me quickly remind you, we put out these kind of videos every single week. So if you haven't already subscribed, please make sure that you click on the subscribe button and hit that bell icon. So without further ado, let's get on with the main topic. So tip number 1 is actually pretty logical. So now if you try to see a progression, I'll play a progression and you just watch my strumming pattern. Take notice of the first stroke. I'll be playing with a down stroke. So here we go. If you notice, when I shift to a new chord, my first stroke is always a down stroke. That is going to be seen 99% of the time. So, what is the first mistake that you do? The first mistake is you try to place your chord starting from the bottom strings towards the top. So you're going to place your fingers like this, starting from the bottom string and then you try to place it on top. Now the ideal situation is you place it all together. But I understand you might be just starting off. So it's okay if you take it step by step. But the formation is wrong. You have to start from the top and then build it towards the bottom. Why? Because the first stroke is always a down stroke. Now if you don't have your fingers placed at the correct point on the top strings and you play your down stroke, how it's going to sound? It's going to sound empty, right? And that's one of the things that you need to avoid. So whenever you play a chord, make sure rather than the bottom string, first comes the top string. Don't play it like, okay? Don't try to place your fingers. If you want to play, for example, a C chord, first you place your third finger on the 5th string and then you move to the bottom. So that's your tip number 1. Always start on the top and then move towards the bottom. Second tip is whenever you play a strumming pattern. So let's take an example of this strumming pattern. In this entire strumming pattern, there comes a point where you need to shift your chord. So the mistake that you might make while playing the strumming pattern is not to shift the chord at the correct point. What do I mean by that? For example, you're playing G chord and the strumming pattern as discussed is this. Now when I have to shift, if I keep my chords placed right till the end, you will not get any time to shift the chord. So that last stroke, which is an upstroke, is usually called an empty chord. So now you need to watch my hands very carefully and see the strumming pattern and see where I'm lifting off my chords. So, see that? On the last stroke, I just played an empty chord. There is no chord there. So again. So the space between the empty chord and the next beat is a space where you need to shift your chord and place it. If you don't give yourself enough time, what can happen is you shift but your placement is not right, and that can cause a very unclear chord, a very jarred chord, so to say. So make sure that you realize this technique and apply it to your playing. Again, let's do it very slowly. See that? Empty chord. Now if I remove this empty chord phenomena and try to play everything perfectly to a beat, see how does it sound? And see how quick the changes are. That's too fast, isn't it? And that's where you can make a mistake. So even though you are a beginner, it doesn't really matter. Every professional, if you see it very carefully, they will lift up their finger just before they need to apply the next chord. And that is what you need to do to shift your chords clearly. So let's get on with tip number 3. So tip number 3 is all about perspective. Now when you're learning how to shift chords, the biggest problem is the placement of the chords, which eventually will come to you because once you start practicing more and more, your muscles will start learning the shapes. Alright? So keep on practicing regularly. Now, when you shift the chord, your right hand is strumming and your left hand is shifting the chord, right? So left hand, most probably if you're a right-handed person, shifting the chords might be a little bit of challenge, and vice versa if you're a left-handed person. So once you have learned the strumming pattern with your right hand, there are only very few places where you will make mistakes. Alright, so strumming pattern is pretty sorted. And in this case, let's take a strumming pattern which is. So that's your strumming pattern. Now remember this always, that you're never going to stop your strumming pattern. You shift the chords, you do whatever with your left hand, don't stop your strumming hand. Alright, so keep that to the beat, don't stop it in any case scenario. So now let's understand the case scenario why you will stop your right hand. Most probably, when you're not able to shift on time, you will stop your strumming hand to give time to place the chord correctly. Am I right? This is the case everywhere, so you're not the only one. Okay, so what you need to do is, first, never stop your right hand, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to place your chord correctly on time. When you stop to place your chord on time, or you take that extra time to place your chord, what you're training your fingers is not to come on time. It's basically opposite of what you're trying to achieve with your left hand. Alright, so don't stop with your right hand. Even if you mess it up, what will happen? It will sound a little bit bad. The chords won't be clear. But eventually what will happen is, because you're telling your left hand, you know what, I'm not going to stop even if you make a mistake, you're forcing your left hand to come on time. Eventually, it will start coming on time, and with time, it will start sounding absolutely clear. Alright, so I'll try to make mistake and I'll try to play in showing you what exactly are you doing and what I want you to do. Alright, so this is how you might be playing right now. This is the difficult part for you guys right now. So if you are playing like that, you have to stop playing like this from this very second. Don't give yourself time to place your fingers, just go with it. Don't stop your rhythmic hand. So all you need to do is, even if you make a mistake there, keep your strumming hand strong. Keep the rhythm in your strumming hand. Eventually you will see your left hand improving, getting to the shapes quicker and faster and more clearer. So these are my 3 tips to shift chords seamlessly and to play it clearly. First step is to place your top fingers properly before you reach to the bottom. Second tip is empty chords. Okay, remember that empty space between you shifting and playing the next chord. And the last tip is, no matter what happens, don't stop your strumming hand. You will start to see results really quickly. I just want to quickly talk about one of the lessons that I've done for absolute beginners. Now, lessons are only one part of the story. You really need to work on your practice. And it's important for you to know what you need to practice and how you practice. So my course on Music Pandit is not just lessons. You can practice routines where you can practice along with me. You have quizzes. You can actually submit a video of yourself playing to me and I can have a look and I can give you a feedback of what you need to work on. So do check out musicpandit.com. So with that, we have reached to the end of this video. If you like this video or it was helpful for you, please make sure that you like this video. Not only that, please make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell icon. With that, this is Sherin Winstent, your Guitar Pandit, signing off.